Hello and welcome back to the Gaming Tech channel, everybody. We're live on YouTube and Twitch, and here we are with our Forza Horizon 5 series. We're going to be starting the session off with this 1973 Pontiac Trans Am. This is the Firebird Trans Am SD 455, and the 455 I believe stands for the cubic inches of the motor. So let's get started. We just collected this car as the seasonal reward, so it's brand new and it is bone stock. By brand new I mean new to us. It's an old car, as we all know, from the good old 1970s. We got the nice Christmas theme going. Let's go take a closer look. Nice decorations, as you can see. We got Christmas trees and some lights. Dude, this thing lays some rubber down. That 455 motor is no joke. How many liters is that? Let me check. So 455 would be 7.46, so 7.5 liters. That's a big motor. That's a big block, I would say. I know Chevy big blocks are, I believe, 5 something, 554s in the mid 500 cubic inches. So this might be a small big block, if that makes any sense. We got the big Firebird decal on the front hood. And it looks like a ram air intake, but it's facing the other way. It's facing the windshield. So it wouldn't really be a ram air because ram air means, you know, you're ramming the air down the intake. So I don't know what the concept with that is, but it looks cool. I'm pretty sure it's functional. Yeah, this thing's a torque monster. It gets up and goes.
The next Horizon Arcade event will begin any minute now. Enjoy!
We got a super simple interior. Nice analog gauges. Everything is right in front of you. Wow, this thing is really geared for the quarter mile. We have 4 gears and we're already in 4th gear. Man, the throttle response from this big block is crazy. There's no replacement for displacement. Oh, dude. You can't forget this is a car from the 70s and the brakes are not that great. But it makes all the right noises. I'm sure this thing tops at around 130, 120. Let's find out. That sounded like a Subi. This thing just lays rubber down. got really nice power from factory. Big old naturally aspirated motor. $134, $135, $137, $138, $9, $140, $141, $2, $3, $45. Oh, are we gonna hit $150? Wow, that's not bad at all. 153, and it's still pulling. We're about to hit the rev limiter here. Still going, man. Look at that. It's got a nice top end. Nice torque down low, nice top end. Likes to rev. And listen to the idle. It just chops. Man, these old school muscle cars were peak. Nowadays it's all about emissions. And you know, safety is a good thing about newer cars, but when it comes to the fun factor, that's going down the hill. Alright, let's modify this thing now. I really want to add a better transmission in here so we can go faster than 150. And let's stiffen up the suspension. It feels a little loose. So let's do that. And before we do that, let's just look at the engine swap options. I don't think I'm going to be swapping the engine, but you never know. The 6.2, no, we're not putting a smaller engine in here. No, no way, it's not happening. A diesel? No, no, no. A V10? No, it doesn't suit the muscle car vibe. A 7-liter V8? It's still smaller than what we got. We got a 7.5-liter in here. .7 V12? No, this is not a supercar. 7.2 V8. Okay. I could see myself swapping to this engine. Oh, buddy. Buddy. Now this is a real big block. 8.9 liters V8 supercharged. Oh, man. This sounds dangerous, bro. Oh, dude. Look at that chassis just twist. So our factory engine, the stock engine, has 480 foot-pounds of torque from factory, and that's pretty healthy amount. 372 torque. 372 horsepower, 480 torque. So it's horsepower a little lower than the torque figure, but it's still high up. It's up there. It's almost around 400. And I feel like if you put cams in the stock engine, it's gonna go beyond, like, well, it's gonna get close to 500. And the torque's gonna go up by a little bit. Not by too much, 21 foot-pounds more. Horsepower goes up by 115, so I feel like this engine will be a lot more balanced if you install cams. So for now, we'll leave the stock engine in here, but we are definitely going to add some cams in here so we can match our horsepower with the torque. Make this thing rev a little higher to make more horsepower. while maintaining that torque down low. So we got cams in the stock engine. How does an exhaust sound? Let's see. Nice. Okay. That sounds like a real Chevy exhaust. A real GM product. I like that. I like the idle better on the stock exhaust, but when you rev it, it's kind of muffled. So the idle kind of gets a little smoother with the race exhaust, but when you actually rev the engine, it sounds much better. It almost sounds like glass packs. Alright, we'll do exhaust and cams. Nothing else for now. That's decent enough. And let's put a better transmission in here. I'm thinking 10 speed. You know why? Because why not? We're gonna put a 10 speed in here. Give it 6 more gears compared to factory. And of course, we don't have to use all the gears. We can if you really want to. We can customize each gear individually, so that's a nice thing about having a 10 speed. Alright, 10 speed and a better clutch, yes. And a lighter drive shaft. And a race differential while we're at it. Okay, now we can work on the suspension. We're gonna give it better brakes, the best brakes that we can possibly put on this car. Efficiency goes up by 41%. That's pretty efficient. Okay, now we're gonna lower this thing. And we're gonna slam it with the race springs and dampers, because the suspension was kind of smooshy. Soft, whatever you want to call it. So it's going to tighten things up. It's going to make the car corner better. And anti-roll bars. Okay, not going to do those just yet. I just want to see how it does just with springs and dampers first. And yeah, we are gonna reinforce this chassis because this is an older car. It's gonna benefit from having a strong reinforced chassis. We're not gonna put a cage in here, but we will do what do you call these again? Not sway bars. Is it a sway bar? What's the name for this thing? It's not a roll bar, is it? Wait, what are these? These are anti-roll bars. These are more like the sway bar links. And this is more like the anti-roll bars. But they're calling it chassis reinforcement. Oh, wait, this is also a roll cage. Well, they're calling it a roll cage, but to me, this looks more like your anti-roll bar. And this is more like your sway bar links. So we're going to do front and back reinforcement without the cage. And the car is actually not that heavy. It's heavy, but it's not as heavy as your newer cars. It's 3,600 pounds. We could make it super light. Take out 2,900 pounds. Yeah, we'll do sport weight reduction. I don't want to make it too light. I want the car to have some weight. But again, if we make it super light, we can put nice wide tires on it to compensate for our low weight. It'll have more grip that way. Less weight should benefit, especially with our race springs and dampers. So I think, yeah, let's just take out all the weight, because we are going to be putting some grippier compound on here. And of course, the best is going to be your slick race tire compound. Let's just go with the best. But it might not be able to slide then, because we do want this thing to slide a bit. Again, we're not converting this into a drift car, but I do want this car to have some fun. We're not gonna go with street or sport, but I think we should go with semi-slicks. Let's get the semi-slicks instead of full race slicks. Yeah, we'll do that. So it has really skinny tires from factory. That's pretty standard with their cars from 70s. And yeah, it's got a squared setup, 215mm wides on front and back. So I'm thinking we should go with 295s on the back. Oh, the max we can do is 345s, but we don't have that much power right now. We're only at like 511 horsepower, so I think 295 is going to be plenty. Let's not forget the stock Hellcat, like your 2015 Hellcat, the narrow body Hellcat comes with 275s from factory. And your narrow body 392 has 245s on it from factory without your upgraded you know, setup. So having 295s on a 511 horsepower car is actually not that bad at all. It's gonna be plenty for this power level. Same goes with the front here. I mean, we do want the widest on here if you want the best front end grip. So we'll do 275 and 295s. Unfortunately, we can't do a squared setup. That's not possible. Yeah, it's not possible. That's fine. I like the stock wheels. They look very traditional. They are period correct. They look like, you know, wheels from the 70s. I feel like they're too small. Oh, they're only 15 inches. Damn. We at least need 17s on here, man. Okay, 18s are gonna be too big, I know. Yeah, that looks like aftermarket wheel for sure. And anything beyond 18 is not gonna suit this car. I mean, that looks cool, but it doesn't look like an old school wheel no more. Even 18s look alright, I feel like. 18s are just fine. Again, when you have less sidewall, that really benefits with handling and cornering. But you don't want too thin of a sidewall either. So you just want, like, you know, a middle ground. So I'm thinking 18s are perfect because their sidewall is 40mm wide and stock is 50. So that's a really thick tire wall. The sidewall, I mean. So should we go with, yeah, the sidewall on the 17s and the 18s is the same. 40 and 40. 17s look more stock than the 18s, but 18s actually look just alright. They're fine. We'll do 18s, yeah. 20s are too big. 19s are too big for this car. 18s are just fine. I mean, they're just at the limit. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Improve the track width, make the tires stick out a bit. Yeah. Okay, not all the way. I mean, that does kind of look cool, flush with the fenders. We're just gonna do level 1. Make it flush, but not like super flush where it's like sticking out almost. We don't want that. So we'll make it stick out just tiny bit so it's still within the fender, but it's sort of flush. I like that. And same thing with the front here. 1, 2. On the front we can go all out actually. It's still within the fender. Yeah. Looking at it from back here, yeah, we can go all out on the front. That looks really good. It almost looks factory, but it doesn't, you know. It's like OEM plus. We don't want a splitter on the front or a spoiler on the back. Oh, that actually gets rid of the factory spoiler and the Trans Am logo, the writing on the back. I don't like that. It looks weird without the factory spoiler back here. That's actually super weird. I don't like that. This looks so much better. And when it comes to the hood, oh, wow. Okay. I mean, we don't have a supercharger right now. So maybe once we add a supercharger to this car, we can upgrade to this hood. But for now, I'm going to leave the Firebird on there. It looks really cool with a factory intake. Okay, that's the setup. This is what the setup looks like. I think this will be a really fun car. Grip goes up, horsepower goes up, weight goes down. We're in S1 class. Perfect. Right in the beginning of the S1 class, so we're not in like deep S1. We still have a lot more room. Okay. Car looks good. Lowered, wider. I mean, the stance is wider. The car is still the same width. Looks neat. I like this factory red color. It's like, you know, red, orangish. I like it. Oh, it gets down. It handles so much better now. Wow. Again, this is only 511 horsepower, but it feels so much faster compared to our stock configuration. Bro in the Camaro thinks we're racing, but we're actually not racing. I'm just testing out my car, bro. I like the sound that it makes on deceleration, you know? When you're just off the throttle. It's making popcorn. It's moving. Wow, the 10 speed is actually geared out perfectly. You don't have to adjust the ratios or anything. This thing is on point. Having the 10 speed plus the cams really helped. It really woke up this V8. We still got the great response because this is a naturally aspirated V8. A true American V8. It can rev higher now. We got better grip. It shifts better. The chassis is more rigid. We got all the right things going for this car. Oh, and the brakes are top notch. And of course, the best thing about this car is the sound. And the way it looks. Is that a Chevy or a GMC? You can't tell. That's a Chevy. What's up, bro? Bro just crashed a Chevy. Nice truck, bro. This is a nice duo, right? Bro's ripping it. And he lost it. Come on, bro. You can do better than that. It handles so good. The power to grip ratio is on point. Wow. I'm impressed. Dude, what a balanced car. I don't think I want to add more power to this build. It's fine the way it is. That was a good run. A great run, actually. All right. I believe I have a couple of wheel spins, so let's check them out. Okay. Oh, we almost got that Cobra R. But it's all good. We already have one. Okay, more money. Not bad at all. Or I should call it credits, not money. Yeah, we don't have any seasonal championships currently. We completed all of them in our last stream, so if you want to see that, check out the last stream. There was like 5 championships in total that we completed. I thought I just saw something over here. What's this? Should we try this? A speed zone? And we get a super wheel spin? Yeah, why not, right? The restriction is S2, anything goes. I mean, that's crazy. Anything goes. We need to get 90 miles per hour in the speed zone. Oh, it's on dirt. Okay, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Getting 90 miles per hour on dirt is tough, but we are gonna give it a try. This is a seasonal speed zone. As you can see, we have already attempted this speed zone before and we got 2 stars, but this time if we do it again, we will win the super wheel spin because of the seasonal thing that's going on. So let's switch to a S2 car. Since anything goes, anything from S2 is gonna be just fine. We need something with all-wheel drive because this is on a dirt road, so I'm not gonna be choosing anything with rear-wheel drive only. So let's see if I can select that. All-wheel drive. Narrow it down a little more. I don't want to use an electric car. I don't want to use a hypercar either. They're too low. That kind of leaves us with this BMW. There's 2 of them. Trackhawk might be a nice option for this. This might have trouble turning. I mean, all these cars might have trouble turning on dirt. Yeah, this Trackhawk might be our best bet here because it's higher up. It's got the most amount of power out of all these cars, other than the Mustang, of course. It's heavy, so that should also help, you know, stabilize our vehicle on the dirt road. Something too light just gonna fly right off. But I also feel like it might have too much power, too much torque, and it might just keep on spinning. Okay, either way, let's just test it out. Actually, we'll drive there first in our Trans Am, and then we'll switch to the Trackhawk once we get there. Mustang Cobra. What's up, bro? Nice car. Oh, it's a Celine. Dude had a Cobra logo on the side and a Celine bumper, so what would that be? Was that a real Terminator? 0304 Terminator? I can't tell. Because Celine's don't have the Cobra logo on the side. Do they? I don't think so. Alright, this is the speed zone. I'll park right here, switch to the Trackhawk, and let's see if we can get 3 stars so we can win the... What is it? A super wheel spin, right? Yep, a super wheel spin. Having dirt tires on this Trackhawk would really help. Or rally tires. But let's see how these slick tires will do. Racing slicks. Not drag radials, but your standard racing slicks. Man, this Trackhawk looks good. I know it's just a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but the stance and the different bumpers and the different wheels make it look really nice compared to your regular V8 or V6 Grand Cherokee. We need to maintain 90 miles per hour. That's gonna be tough, bro. This thing doesn't even want to turn. Oh, okay. You know what? We are gonna put some dirt tires on here. Just for this event. So, we have 2 options. Rally or off-road. We have better handling with the rally tires, but less off-road capability. And it's the other way around when we go for off-roading tires. It's better off-roading, but handling is less, it's a little worse. So, that's gonna be a tricky choice. That's really gonna be a tricky choice. When it comes to your 0 to 60, it's better with the rally tires. And what about braking distance? That also matters. So the braking distance gets worse with the off-roading tires. But they look really cool. You gotta admit that. Wait. We can't do the off-road tires because then our car gets downgraded to S1 and we need it to be S2. So rally tires it is. Make the profile bigger for a thicker sidewall. I don't think we need that. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. Let's try it now. I know we have too much power, but we'll make it work. Oh, since we're already here, let's change the suspension as well. I believe I have racing suspension on here. Or I might just have the stock. So yeah, it's the race springs and dampers. Let's put rally springs and dampers on here. Wow, our off-roading capability goes up. From 6.1 to 7.3. I like that. Yeah, it's not gonna have that racing stance anymore. It'll look like your regular Jeep. The Trailhawk Jeep. This is the Trackhawk Trailhawk. Or the Trailhawk Trackhawk. However you want to say it. Dude, I know I missed out on one thing. Which would be your differential. Let's do that as well, man. I want this thing to be like fully off-road worthy. I don't know if I should go with rally differential or off-road. We have rally tires, so it makes more sense to go with rally differential, but we have off-road suspension. Oh, dude. Should we match the differential with the tires or the suspension? I think it's better to have an off-roading differential, because it's going to be rallying off the road. And we have rally tires, so we can keep this Trackhawk in S2 class. So we're going to match our suspension and our differential. So have off-roading diff and off-roading suspension. Yet rally tires. It's a little mix and match, but that's the only way we're going to make this work. Okay, let's head back to our speed zone. It's not too far from here. That was a nice view. And now we can do a little bit of off-roading here. Let's do this. We went off the road. I hope it counts. Wait, we need to get 100 miles per hour on that? How's that even possible? Okay, let's tune the Trackhawk. We're gonna make the gears longer. And air down the tires. And give it one more go. Did that work? Not even close, bro. Not even close. Okay. Well, let's take out all the air from the tires. I mean, not all. We still have 15 psi. What else can we do here? I'm gonna make the gears even longer because we have too much wheel speed. Too much wheel torque, I mean. So let's see how this does. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. So you're asking about the 5700G versus the 5500 GT? Well, you have two more cores when it comes to 5700G. And the APU should perform a little better. Not a whole lot better, but slightly better. It's still going to be PCIe Gen 3. And you're going to have same amount of cache. I believe it's 16 megabytes. So if you really want, you know, the best performance, I would say go with the 5700G. Because you'll have a little better APU. Plus, you'll have two more logical cores. So, and if you pair that with like decent RAM, like 3600 megahertz or above, the 5700G will perform better. But again, it all depends, you know, what you're going to be using it for. If you are going to be using it for gaming, dedicated graphics card is always going to be, you know, far better than having onboard graphics on your CPU. I don't even think this run counts. Yeah, that doesn't even count, bro. The best we were able to do was 79 miles per hour. Are you gonna be gaming and you're gonna be using CAD? Is that what you're saying? You were trying to do both? Did that work? No, we're not able to beat our personal best. That's crazy. Well, if you're not trying to go for a professional graphics card, you should just go with any NVIDIA graphics card. Because all gaming graphics cards do work for CAD as well. I'd recommend going for NVIDIA. I know people use NVIDIA Quadros for that. If you can get your hands on one of those. But they do run a little expensive. I personally have never bought a refurbished graphics card, so I can't tell you if you should do that or not, because I've never done that and I don't know any experience with buying refurbished. And if you are gonna be buying a refurbished, just check their return policy. But since you said you don't want to game and you don't see yourself gaming in the near future, your best bet's gonna be an NVIDIA Quadro for all your workstation needs. But again, even if you go for like an RTX card, you should still be able to run CAD just fine, and you can game on it. How did we do this time? $84 miles. Ah, a little better, but we can't beat that. We can't beat the 100 mile per hour mark. It's just tough. $89 miles per hour. We're 1 mile per hour away from hitting the 90 mile per hour mark for 3 stars. That was super close. Maybe we should give it one more go. I actually know somebody that runs CAD on a 5700 XT and it runs just fine. So the performance on any latest NVIDIA RTX is going to be a lot better than that. $89. We can't beat that, man. Well, if you're going with 50 series cards, other than the 5050, they're all going to be GDDR7. Starting from 5060 and up until 5090. They're all GDDR7, but you want a decent amount of bus speed as well. So for example, the 5060 is only 128 bit, and it runs on 8x. So if you go for the 5070 at the least, you'll be using all of your PCIe slot bandwidth. So that's really gonna maximize how the card performs. Yeah, if you're on a B550 motherboard, you're limited to PCIe Gen 4. And again, if you go for a 5700G or a 5500 GT, then you're going to be limited to PCIe Gen 3. So I think you should go for at least the Ryzen 5600 at the least. So you can have PCIe Gen 4 and then invest in a card that uses your X16 slot. You know, you don't want a card that runs on X8 and then you're limited by having a CPU that's not even PCIe Gen 4. So that's going to create a little bit of bottleneck. So on the B550 board, try aiming for the 5600 chip or 5700X, which is 8 core and it has PCIe Gen 4. Bro, we can't seem to beat our personal best. But again, you're not going to be gaming, so your bottleneck shouldn't matter that much. But it will be there, but it's not going to interfere as much if you were to game. I think the mistake I'm making here is not entering the speed zone with high enough speed. So let me gain some speed before we enter. Well, there's so many specs that you need to look out for. It's not just a single thing that you need to be aware of, right? Like for example, let's just start with your power supply. You need to know if your card can run on your current power supply, and if your power supply has the right connector for your new card that you're buying. I would start at that, because the main thing is power, right? If you can't get enough power to your card, then you're gonna have to replace your power supply, and that just means you're gonna have to spend more money. So start with the power. Make sure you got the recommended power supply and the right connector for your new graphics card you're upgrading to. Then make sure it's gonna fit inside your case, right? Because you don't want to buy a card that's too big for your case. And then the things that I mentioned earlier, your PCIe Express version, if it's version 3, 4, or 5. If that all matches with your motherboard and CPU, that's gonna make sure your card runs at its max potential. So there's a lot of little factors they need to be mindful of, you know. Did we beat our personal best? Come on, tell me. No? Really? Okay, let's try it one more time. Well, in your case, it's gonna be CUDA, since you're gonna be running some programs on there. So the more CUDA cores you have, that means the better the GPU will perform. So amount of CUDA cores matter. Oh no! This Trackhawk's not gonna cut it, man. No! He has too much power. That's what it is. We got too much power. Not enough grip and too much power. How about now? How about now? No? Hey, no problem. Merry Christmas. Oh man, this Trackhawk is all over the place. Okay. It's not possible in the Trackhawk, so I am changing my car here. We're gonna be changing it to a freaking BMW. Oh, we spent so much time on this Trackhawk, improving it, putting a better dirt setup, off-roading setup on it, but at the end, it didn't even matter. Again, the restriction is S2, so this is S2. So let's see if this Beamer's got it. We have a lot less power, but I think it should do much better. We have lower center of gravity here, you know. Less power, so it should mean we have more traction, hopefully. So let's see. Nope, we messed up. We messed up already. Okay. Maybe if I turn around and attempt it from this side, it might be better. Hopefully. Bro, really? Still not 3 stars? Really? Why is it so tough? This is a tough speed zone to get 3 stars on, man. Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening, bro. We can try it one more time, but I don't think it's happening. What if I actually do use a hypercar? I don't think it matters. We should try. Or you know what? We don't have to use a hypercar. We'll just use the Mustang that's an S2 class. All-wheel drive, 1800 horsepower. I mean, I don't know. It's not a dirt car. It's not an off-roading car, so I'll try my best. Oh my god, it's so fast. So freaking fast. Oh, we ran off the road. So it's not gonna count. That's not good. We gotta stay on the road. It does not want to brake. No, this Mustang's not gonna work. There's no way it's gonna work. Oh. Let's try the Trackhawk one more time. We're only 1 mile per hour away from getting 3 stars, you know? Like, that's nothing. Just 1 mile per hour, man. Alright, I'm just gonna reset the tune here. And let's transfer 80% power to the rear. So we can kind of drift it on the turns. And oh, when it comes to braking force, I'm gonna put that 80% to the front and 200% high. So when we brake, this thing should stop right away. It'll do a little nosedive because the balance is more towards the front. But that should help with turning. It'll do a little nosedive and we'll try to turn it right away. I hope that works. Let's find out. Let's do a little bit of camber. Actually, no. No camber. The factory camber is fine. Okay, one more attempt. We've done multiple attempts. But I think we're gonna get it this time. Nope. Gotta try that again. With lower tire pressure. No, dude, we can't get off the road like that. That's not gonna work. We got 3 stars! Oh, we finally got 3 stars! Oh my god, bro. We got 3 stars! And that was still not good enough to win the super wheel spin because we needed 100 miles per hour for that, but we got 92.3 miles per hour. That's crazy. We got 3 stars. Yeah, we're not gonna win the super wheel spin, but whatever. That's fine. That's totally fine. We got 3 stars. That was a tough one. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the super wheel spin. It's all good. Look at that moon's reflection on the roof of the car. Looks good. Alright. We spent a lot of time on that speed zone back there. That's fine. Had fun. Let's switch to something different. Well, it's not entirely different, but I mean different compared to the Trackhawk, yeah. like this car. It can get a little squirrely because the wheelbase is not that long and it's got lots of power. So it's a little handful. Okay, let's change the car again. Let's change it to a real drift car. Yeah, why not? A drift build, not a real drift car. There's a difference between that. This car has been converted to a drift car, so this is a drift build. I believe this is the F10. The 4.4 twin turbo V8. The last rear-wheel drive BMW M5. Yeah, it's the last rear-wheel drive M5, and it's the first turbo M5. So it's the first and the last. This is a special car. It was end of one era and it was start of the other era. That was a nice run. Alright. We'll be ending the stream here, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.